Hello, merry time zone friends. It's Matt here today, bringing you another demo for the channel, courtesy of steamnextfest February 2024. Today, we are going to be playing something very different for the channel, but something recommended by a friend that I'm looking forward to trying out. Today, we are going to be playing Touchstarved. Pretty much all I know is it's got some smexy men. So, without further ado, grab your cuppers and settle in. A friend of mine was playing this the other day and they text me saying they started playing a dating sim and it turned out it had horror elements, and this friend is somewhat horror averse and they got to the end of the demo and went, it was fantastic, and they told me to play it. So we are playing it today. I'm kind of excited about this one. It's so different to anything that I've ever played before on or off of this channel. This looks kind of wild and I'm so here for this energy today. As I said, I haven't heard of this game before. All I know about it is what's in the Steam page, so let's head over and have a look at it together. Touchstarved is a dark romance visual novel where your choices determine whether the story ends with gothic romance or blood-curdling horror. Explore an enigmatic city and find a cure for your curse by entrusting your fate to 5 love interests, each uniquely monstrous in their own way. This is developed and published by Red Spring Studios, does not have a current release date as of the time of recording, but the fact the demo is available today, I'm kind of excited to try something completely different. I have never played any kind of dating sim before, so when I was told about this one, the thing that got me interested was the fact that there are some dark elements. It's this phrase, gothic romance or blood-curdling horror. Also, shouts out to the song in that trailer. That cover version slapped. It had no permission to go that hard and it went hard anyway. I think this could be quite funny. I think it could be quite dark, and I think it's just going to be a lot of fun to play today. That is all I know about this game, and I'm not going to read up any further because I just want to get into it and see what we're in store for today. This one's going to be fun. So we are in the game. We have to press any button, but before we do, let me introduce you to the 5 people that we're going to meet today. We saw them briefly in the trailer, but we get a really good look at them now, and the art on these characters is so cool. Each of them are so unique in their own way. We've got tattoos, piercings, cat ears and chains. We've got gold decorations. We've got the smiling ones, the dark ones, the broody ones. I'm so here for this energy. This is going to be so fun. If we take a quick peek at the settings, there are not that many. Windowed mode with resolution, love that that's an option. I love to have a smaller window when I'm filming. Graphics, we're going to leave that on ultra for now, and if we need to turn it down, we will. I think we should be fine though. And then in text, we can change the message speed and the font size, which in a game like this, which is largely text-based, it's really important to have this kind of thing in here, so I'm glad that they've included it. That's pretty much all there is to see. I love the dark broodiness of this menu. The CG gallery has nothing in it right now, but once we play the game, we might be unlocking some stuff, so we'll be able to come back and have a look at the end, see if we've gotten anything for it. For now though, there's nothing to do but to start a new game. Let's go. This is a demo of the Touchstarved prologue and not the finished product. Thank you. Content warning. Touchstarved is intended for an older audience. It contains mature content that includes, but is not limited to, horror, graphic violence, strong language, alcohol and drug references, injury, and dismemberment. Player and viewer discretion is advised. If any of that's going to be an issue for you guys, please be careful going forwards. Don't feel you have to watch if there's any sensitive topics, okay? Put yourself first. In Touchstarved, your choices matter. The decisions you make may result in unique dialogue, interactions, or even choices in red text which contain exclusive content. Try playing through the demo more than once and choosing different options. You might even uncover a secret ending. And remember, there are no wrong choices, only interesting ones. Choose wisely and save often. I don't know if our choices will be wise, but they are going to be fun. I can promise you that much. Left click to progress text and dialogue. Mouse wheel up and down to rewind and progress the text and dialogue as well. It's nice you can use the mouse wheel for that. And the space bar hides the UI. That's awesome to get some really cool screenshots, hopefully. Alt activates skip mode. I'm not sure what that is, but we're gonna leave that alone. Choose your name. Well, we know it's gotta be Maddie, right? Choose your pronouns. Yes! Sorry, I get so excited about this because so many games don't include this, and it's such a nice touch. In any kind of game where you're referenced as a character by somebody else, it's really nice to have the choice. I do go by any pronouns, but I'm also non-binary, so I do enjoy having the they-them option. This world began to unravel long before you were born. It began with fogfall. Spectral mist bled from the seams where reality wore so thin it split. And from that fog emerged monsters, inhuman beings with unnatural powers. Some possessed language and intellect, others were mindless beasts driven by little more than the desire to slaughter. As cities fell and unrest spread, humans united in their fear whilst monsters thrived in the chaos. And then there's you. You're not even sure if you're human. You were born cursed, with hands that alter the minds of anyone you touch. Choose your backstory. Oh, we get to select our origin. Oh, this is cool. So we have 3 different options. The Unnamed, a fallen oracle. The Hound, a forsaken thief. Or the Alchemist, an abandoned mage. We're gonna go through them one by one and we're gonna decide which one I think I want to play today. The Unnamed, a fallen oracle. You were raised as an oracle in a remote temple. The priests claimed your touch bestowed enlightenment, but a visiting mage revealed your curse for what it is. Following the mage's words, you fled in search of the cenobium. You regularly experience unnatural premonitions that rattle your body and soul. An innate sixth sense gives you a highlighted awareness of hidden supernatural presences around you. The Hound, a forsaken thief. You were raised by society's outcasts, criminals who accepted you when nobody else would. Your partner in crime, a friend since childhood, helped you steal enough money for a cure, then betrayed you. They left you with only enough coin to travel to the cenobium, your last hope. You have sharply honed social intuition. You can survive and even thrive in the violent underbelly of any city, using your experience with the underworld to get ahead. The Alchemist, an abandoned mage. An exiled cenobium mage took you in as a child, raising you as her apprentice. She seemed to take pity on your curse, but you discovered that she was cultivating you as a test subject. You fled to the cenobium, seeking a cure. You're an experienced spellcaster with an encyclopedic knowledge of alchemy, spellcraft, and history. With a little observation, you can identify the subtle effects of magic. So we have an Oracle Monk type, which gives us a heightened awareness of supernatural presences, a life of thievery, darkness, and betrayal, with a sharp intuition, surviving and thriving in the violent underbelly of the world. Or we have the Mage's Test Subject, an experienced spellcaster and somebody with a lot of history knowledge, identifying magic. Ooh, these are really cool options, dude. You're gonna make me choose? If I had the time, I would play all of them, but I have to pick just one today. I have to say, I'm kind of drawn into the Hound because, I don't know, something about the childhood friend betraying you, saying they were gonna help and having betrayed you. That's screaming trust issues and tragedy to me, and I'm kinda here for it. Thriving in the violence, using our experience to get ahead. I'm gonna go with this one today, and if I get a chance, I'm gonna play through the other ones myself as well. Or maybe when the game comes out in full, if we enjoy this together, we can bring this back and we can play through the Unnamed and the Alchemist storylines as well. For now, we're gonna go with the Hound and see where that takes us. Your name is Maddie. You selected they them pronouns. Your backstory is the Hound. Is that correct? Maddie the Hound. That has a bit of a ring to it, I'm not gonna lie. The wasteland stretches as far as the eye can see. There's nothing out here but death, the ever-present stench of decay, and countless sun-bleached bones cast like seeds across the barren land. I could say death doesn't scare me, but to tell you the truth, I'm desperate. It's been 2 weeks since I joined a caravan bound across the wastes. Finding a group that would accept me was a trial in itself. As rations grew sparse and my canteen ran dry, I began to despair. But then I saw it. Eridia, the city of knowledge, one of the last bastions of humanity left in the world, and home to the famous academy called the Cenobium. All the world's knowledge gathered in one place. If there's anywhere I'll find a cure for my curse, it's there. All that stands between me and a cure is a final stretch of salt-soaked wastes, or so I think, until I see the first tendrils of fog snaking beneath the wagon. Is this fogfall? My stomach sinks at the very whisper of it. A silent storm more devastating than the fire, dangerous in cities but a death sentence beyond them. A thick blanket of fog engulfs us, smothering out the lantern's light. The wagon lurches to a stop. An eerie silence, heavy as the mist, falls over us. The only warning we get is a strangled scream. Stay back! No! No! The cry dissolves into wet gurgling. Then, the wagon violently pitches to the side. I hit the ground hard, the air punched from my lungs. When I open my eyes, adrenaline lends sudden, awful clarity to the carnage around me. A trader I once shared bread with lies face down in the mud, their back reduced to long strings of torn muscle, gleaming gristle and exposed bone. Bodies litter the wasteland. I try to rise, but my ankle explodes with pain so blinding, white blooms across my vision. Only when my eyes adjust do I see the dark shape in front of me. A soulless stoops over the twisted form of a caravaner. I freeze, but it swivels its head. A dozen bulging eyes twitch in my direction and blink as one. The soulless lets out an ear-piercing shriek and runs at me. But right before it reaches me, the beast barrels past, vanishing into the mist. Distantly, a horse screams in the dark. I need to move, now! Run for the city, head towards the wagon. We have to run. That's what it said. We have to run. I take off, running deeper into the haze. The fog is so thick that I fear I'm headed in the wrong direction until I see a dim pinprick of light emanating from the shadow of a spire. It's faint, but it's enough. I came too far to die here. Rapid footsteps echo all around me. I turn in circles, frantically searching the opaque mist for the source, where the fogfall twists and stretches sound. Suddenly, the caravan's driver bursts forth from the fog. Our eyes meet too late. He slams into me, knocking me to the ground, and slips in a patch of mud. The soulless falls on him as soon as he slows. It catches the driver by his throat and rakes his stomach with razor-sharp claws. He comes apart like wet paper, spilling intestines and viscera in a steaming tide. Fighting the urge to heave, I claw frantically through the slippery muck for a handhold. Shit! My hand catches on the jagged edge of a rib jutting up from the water. Bandages unfurl around the gouge torn deep into my palm. The pain's quickly forgotten when a hand closes around my wrist. Can you stand? One of the travelers from the caravan leans over me. We need to run. They reach for my hand and I realize too late that my bandages have come undone. No, don't touch me. The sensation of their thumb brushing the back of my hand sends a shiver down my spine. All it takes is one touch, and in the space of a breath, my curse takes hold. Their lips peeled back into a deranged grin. No, I've seen this face countless times before. This is my curse, madness of my own making. Their grip on my hand tightens until pain radiates from my knuckles. Suddenly, clammy hands crush my throat, choking off my breath. Die, 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 die! Spit bubbles at the corners of their mouth and reflects my face. The edges of my vision darken as my lungs scream for air. Scream for help or fight them off. I think we have to fight them. We can't scream, we can't even breathe. At that point, we've already touched them. We have to fight them. My nails gouge deep into the traveler's wrist, but no matter how much blood I draw, they don't flinch. The more I struggle, the tighter their grip grows. My pulse hammers in my ears, slowing with each thudding beat. This can't be happening. I'm going to die, and not because of the fogfall or the soulless, but because of my own curse. Tears sting my eyes. No, 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 not here. Not like this. The hands drop from my neck, leaving me wheezing for air. My lungs burn with each ragged cough. My vision clears, and the traveller's face takes shape, hovering inches from mine, lips still split in that macabre smile, even as blood seeps between their teeth. They give one last shuddering breath, then slump over the claws hooked through their stomach. The soulless shoves their body aside, and the glowing eyes studding its leathery skin thin as though grinning. As a flash of claws, red spills across my vision. I thought there'd be pain, but as I sink into the murky water, all I can feel is the grit of silt filling my mouth and the icy embrace of shallow water. Distantly, I notice an arm resting among an outcrop of reeds, mine, neatly severed at the elbow. It should have taken both arms. Without them, maybe I could have survived. Maybe I could have had a home. Instead, I'll die cold, alone, and face down in a desolate wasteland. A fitting end for a monstrosity like me. If this is death, it's not as bad as I feared. The cold is gone, as is the choking stench of bog water. I could drift forever, cocooned in oblivion, until all thought and sensation vanished. No curse, nobody howling at me in madness and terror, nothing at all. The thought had a terrible appeal to it. But the next moment, I take a reflexive breath. Air pours into my lungs, then out again in a ragged gasp. Feeling comes flooding back. Warm cloth on my bare skin, a firm surface underneath me, a strange tang of sulphur in the air. Do not be afraid. I twist my head toward the voice. Tears flood my bleary vision at the bright glow of lamplight. Try not to move. The voice is calm, steady and commanding, but more importantly, it's a stranger's voice. One thought cuts through my mental fog. I have no idea who this is, and I'm completely at their mercy. Stay away from me. My words come out in little more than a creaky whisper. I clamp my mouth shut, hating how weak and helpless I sound. No. No. Who the hell is this? Sit up or lie back down. We need to see who this stranger is. Let's get a better look at them. I manage to push myself up on one elbow, but my head swims and my surroundings give an alarming lurch. Ah, a stubborn patient. I don't have the strength to dignify that with a response. Instead, I pull the sheet up higher and wipe my eyes until my vision clears. The stranger towers over my prone form. Warm light reflects off his pristine medical coat. I instinctively shrink back, and that's when I notice that I'm completely naked except for a thin linen sheet. Naked, lying on a low cot, with a pair of sharp golden eyes watching my every move. The man's gaze flickers to my exposed, unbandaged hands. I plunge my hands under the sheet to hide them from sight, though it's too late. He must have noticed what they look like. Strange, cursed, inhuman. I brace myself for his inevitable suspicion and disgust, but his expression doesn't even flicker from my courteous smile. He just watches in placid silence as I struggle to make sense of my surroundings. Where am I? Who are you? Be calm. You are safe here. Whoever this is, he clearly has no idea who or what I am. I've never been safe anywhere, with anyone. The only people I ever trusted betrayed me for a fat purse of coin. I scowl, pulling the sheet protectively around myself. Where are my clothes? The man's golden eyes narrow slightly. A sharp sigh rustles the papers in his hands. I see you were not to be dissuaded. Your clothes were torn to shreds when I found you, but I procured replacements. With a soft creak, he stands from his chair, giving me a better view of my surroundings. I seem to be in some sort of medical clinic. Bottles of silvery alchemical concoctions line the counters in neat rows. The air makes my nose twitch, a faint whiff of smoke and something distantly metallic that I can't quite place. The doctor produces a large, dense bundle of cloth, which he sets at the foot of my cot. He's easily a head taller than most, and I have to crane my neck to look at him. He's got those piercing golden eyes, and the gold and the white, such a good theme, sets his skin tone off beautifully. Don't mind me, cough cough, I'm so sick, doctor. Thank you, or could you step out? Honestly, at this point, he's probably already seen everything. Might as well just say thank you. Look, he's saved our life, he's brought us clothes. All he's done so far is be kind to us. At that point, he's seen everything already. We might as well just say thank you. I should be polite if I can, especially since I don't know who this is, what he can do, or what he wants with me. Thank you. You are welcome. I will leave you to get dressed. With a curt nod, he leaves through a narrow door. I hear a soft click as the lock turns behind him. I count to 3 in the sudden silence. When I don't hear any more footsteps, I reach for the bundle of clothes. An itch on my elbow stops me short. I reach down absently to rub it in, then freeze when my fingers meet a neat line of stitches. I know what I saw. That beast took my arm clean off. And yet, my arm shows no sign of injury, apart from the black stitches poking through my skin. I gingerly flex my fingers, feeling my heart race with the sensation. This is impossible. I should be dead, or at the very least, gasping out my last breaths. I squeeze my eyes shut, waiting for the pleasant dream to unravel, to wake up bleeding out in the swamp. But nothing happens. The seconds tick by and my arm remains resolutely healed, my surroundings pristine and quiet. In numb disbelief, I reach for the replacement clothes and begin stiffly pulling them on. They're thicker and warmer than mine were, with a black woolen cloak to go with them, but there's one thing still missing: my bandages. The golden-eyed man didn't leave me with any, even though I know he saw my hands. I slide off the bed and take a few unsteady steps towards one of the drawers. If this is indeed a doctor's clinic, there must be bandages somewhere. I start opening drawers at random, and of course, that's when the door swings open once more. Are you looking for something? I whirl around, clutching a thick roll of clean bandages. I try to step back from him, but my legs bump up against the edge of the cot. Your caution is understandable, though if I meant you any harm, you would know. That doesn't make me feel better in the slightest, but he makes no move toward me, so I quickly wind the bandages around my hands. The glowing scars and mottled skin disappear under a layer of clean white cotton. May I ask why you need additional bandages? I clenched my jaw. I knew it would only be a matter of time before he asked about my hands, though the way he does it is strangely roundabout. Say nothing, glare at him, or decline to answer. Declining to answer seems like a ruder version of saying nothing, and glaring is also rude, and I don't want to be rude. This man saved our life. There's no answer I could give without raising unwelcome suspicion, so I just shake my head and finish tying the bandages in silence. I can only help you if you tell me what ails you. An involuntary snort of laughter escapes me. Where would I even begin? Would he even believe me if I told him? No, best to keep my curse to myself for now and learn more about him first. Who are you? You may call me Kuras. And where exactly am I? Eridia, which I assume was your caravan's destination. I can think of nowhere else for a group of travelers to go. Eridia, so I made it to the City of Knowledge after all. I should feel relieved, but all I can manage is a vague sense of increasing unease. How did I end up here? I brought you to my clinic, of course. You were the only survivor from the caravan, barely clinging to life. You needed immediate treatment. Which you provided. Yes. He says it so simply, as if I'm a small child and he's explaining basic addition to me. I frown and flex the fingers on my recently healed arm. Aside from being a bit stiff, it feels fine, thoroughly attached to me. You're saying that you stitched my arm back on? Pardon? A soulless attacked the caravan. It ripped everyone to shreds. It tore my arm clean off. But when I woke up here... I trail off, bewildered. I've never heard of any magic that could heal a mortal wound like that. What kind of person could do such a thing? The doctor, Kuras, pinches the bridge of his nose. He sits back down in his chair, quiet for a long time. I do not know where you came from, but Eridia is the city of knowledge and deadly secrets alike. Information is power, and it's most unwise to give or receive it freely. Since you have refused to divulge your secrets, I will not divulge mine. I do not even know your name. You are new to Eridia, so I will overlook the specific breach of etiquette. However, you should not expect others to extend the same courtesy. Do you understand? He looks pointedly at my freshly bandaged hands. Loath though I am to admit it, he has a point. I'm also a complete stranger to him, and if he's telling the truth, he saved my life. I take a deep, steadying breath. This time, when I speak, I sound a bit more like myself. Maddie. My name is Maddie. It's a pleasure to meet you, Maddie. It's so weird to hear my name said back to me. There's a little more warmth in his smile, his polite demeanor back in an instant. Thank you for saving me, or why did you save me? Well, he's a doctor. You don't go into the medical profession to help people because there's a motive. Thank you for saving me. Thank you for saving my life. I chance to smile in return. Even if he won't explain how he did the impossible, there's no doubt in my mind that I'd be dead if not for Kuras. Think nothing of it. I'm not sure if he's just being excessively courteous, but his words only raise more urgent questions. But I have to ask, why did you save me? You don't know me. The question seems to startle Kuras. I could hardly leave it to die in the wastes. Assisting those in need is the very essence of a doctor's duty. I've never met a doctor who also handed out free clothes. My fingers find the edge of the cloak. There's a subtle but delicately embroidered pattern around the hem. I try not to think about what kind of price Kuras might ask for such well-made clothes. No, I suppose not. Forgive my presumption. I rarely come across so fascinating a patient. I blink. What did he just say? I simply meant that few would cling to life so resolutely, or brave such a perilous journey to Eridia. I could not help being curious about you, Maddie. His voice dips to a soft murmur, and he abruptly looks away from me. You're pretty curious yourself, or I don't know what to say to that. Oh, both these options feel so perfect, because I don't know what to say to that, but also, he seems so unfazed by the fact that we've got this weird arm. He's just so chill about it. He just sewed the arm back on and is like, yeah. You're pretty curious yourself. Am I? Well, I haven't forgotten about my arm. I wiggle my intact fingers at him. Clearly not. But you haven't asked me for any payment either. I require none from you. Travelers do not have an abundance of coin, and it would be unethical to leave you destitute in a strange place. I fall silent, unsure what to say to that. Nobody would help a horror like me for free. There has to be some kind of catch or trick, right? A loud knock at the front door stops our conversation cold and spares me from having to say anything else. Duty calls. Unfortunately, you are not my only patient today. The knocking grows more insistent and Kuras lets out a tired sigh. Please, wait your turn. Though he says it quietly, the clamour on the other side of the door abruptly stops. Do you need anything before you leave, Maddie? Oh. Between the soulless attack and my miraculous survival, I'd almost forgotten why I came to Eridia in the first place. I need directions to the cenobium. The cenobium? The look on his face is downright chilling. He pauses, choosing his words with cold deliberation when he speaks again. Whatever you seek, it is very unlikely you will find it there. The cenobium's gates open for precious few visitors. Even if they did, you would not like what you found inside. My heart sinks. Is he saying that I came all this way for nothing? Risked life and limb for nothing? No, that can't be. I've only just arrived and Eridia is the largest city still standing. There has to be a cure for me here. Then if not the cenobium, where would you suggest? Do you know anyone else in Eridia? I shake my head. Then I suggest a local guide. Head to the wet wick and ask for Leander. Excuse me? The wet what? The wet wick? He sounds deeply unamused. Follow the postings advertising Leander's bloodhounds. They are difficult to miss. When you meet Leander, tell him I sent you. That isn't much to go on, but Kuras points towards the clinic's back door. You will be safe so long as you do not draw attention to yourself. That's easier said than done. I've always been a magnet for the worst sort of attention. If you require my assistance, you may return whenever you wish. Though he's smiling, there's a note of finality in his voice. Resigned to my dismissal, I slip out the back door. I find myself standing in a narrow and rather gloomy alley. I pull the new cloak up over my nose, stepping over the contents of chamber pots that have been emptied into the street. Something weighs heavily inside one of the cloak's pockets, my coin purse. Everything is still inside, every last coin that I scraped together for the journey to Eridia. It doesn't even look like it was opened. There were so few coins to begin with, they probably weren't worth stealing. I glanced back at the clinic's closed door. Kuras didn't take any payment. He didn't even ask for a future favor. But he also said that in Eridia, secrets are power. Does he expect me to give up mine at some point? That's not exactly a comforting thought. Still, no matter why he did it, Kuras gave me a second chance and a lead on where I might find help. I'd better get going before he changes his mind. I squeeze out of the alley and into the crowded main street. The line outside Kuras' clinic stretches down the road already. Two thin peddlers queue alongside withered elders. If any place is in a desperate need of free clinic, it's this one. The cobblestones are treacherously rough under my feet, deep grooves worn between them by regular flooding and decades of hard use. I knew Eridia was a river city, but I didn't expect it to look so eroded. The buildings are tired and dilapidated, all crammed together in narrow streets. A child darts by, clutching something greasy wrapped in paper. The smell of fried food drifts over to me. My stomach gives a faint gurgle. This morning's catch, fried up, hot and fresh. Not too many eyeballs today. That sounds disgusting, but I'm starving, so I duck my head under the store's grubby awning. A large fish leers up at me, its three bulging eyes still visible through the thick layer of crispy batter. The vendor gives me a gap-toothed grin. What's the cheapest thing you've got? The vendor points at a metal basket of what looks like long strips of savory fried dough. Fresh long layers, 3 copper apiece. Don't burn your mouth. Take the coins out, counting them gingerly. At this rate, I might not even be able to afford dinner. Reluctantly, I drop the payment at the counter and take my meal. A pair of gilded boots stride across the tabletop. Seriously, you dogs again? Don't blink, or you'll miss it. He laughs and the dagger-shaped earring dangling from his left ear catches the light in a flash of gold. It would seem I found Leander. So, what brings you to the wick? Kuras sent me. So, it's about work. I need to get to the cenobium. This time, when I reach out to touch Leander's palm again, he catches my wrist before I can pull away. I told you, there's really nothing to worry about. Oh! The bartender, who I now realize doubles as an innkeeper, slides a key onto the counter. You know I always keep the corner room open for your escapades. Oh, okay.